Dr. Eric Baas. I'm the co-founder, along with my partner, Dr. Robert Steinmetz of Eye Care Advisors. And what we do is we work with cold start optometric practices from the point of inception of their mission statement through finding a location, negotiating a lease, designing the space, purchasing their equipment and frame lines, and help position them for lasting profitability. The number one thing to consider in space is too much space is not necessarily a good thing. And you have to realize that the more space you take, the more expensive it's going to be to build that space out. We like to see people, go from 1,200, I would say, 1,000 to 1,200 square feet on the low end, 1,700 to 1,800 square feet on the high end. That can be hard for people to understand because oftentimes they're working in a mature, established practice that may be 3,000 square feet. The important thing to understand is more often than not, that is not the practice that doctor started in. They grew into that practice over time. Oftentimes banks don't want to see a client spending more than $40,000 to $45,000 to $50,000 per year in rent. Location definitely makes a difference when it comes to purchasing versus leasing. If you're going to purchase the building, you need to make sure that with all of your financing, when it comes to if you have student loans, if you have a mortgage on a house already, you need to make sure that you're in a position that you can afford both, and sometimes it's just cost prohibitive. And typically you're going to be looking at two separate loan types, either a commercial business loan or a commercial real estate loan for the building itself, or sometimes you'll go through the SBA loan process as well. The financing is always one of the largest perceived hurdles. The nice thing is the majority of our projects are 100% financed. So not only is the bank covering your financing for your build out or leasehold improvements, they're also covering your equipment, they're covering all of your disposable goods that you have to purchase along the way, your frame inventory, but they're also building in cash flow as well. So they're making sure that when you start and when you open day one, you're not starting with zero cash on hand, but you have enough cash flow in order to cover the first few months of operation as things begin to ramp up. The first thing you should do is check your credit score. Find out what it is today. You can go to freecreditreport.com. You can join something like creditkarma.com and become aware of what your credit score is. Find out if there's been any fraudulent activity. Determine what factors are counting against your current credit score and start working today to elevate it if need be. Typically, the lending becomes far more favorable once you get above about a 750. Thankfully, most of the lending institutions that we work with, they're familiar with optometry, they understand our profession, and more importantly, they understand that we all have a significant amount of student loan debt. Those are not looked at negatively. They understand that you're going to have a monthly payment, they understand that it's oftentimes going to be income-based, and they also understand what it takes to succeed in the field. Many banks look at associating income. They want to see that you have supplemental income on a regular basis. So some require, for example, that you associate at least 2 days per week, and they look at that as sort of a safety net of cash flow while the practice is building. Not that you're expected to spend that money on the practice, but that's used to support your personal budget. That helps pay your student loans, that helps pay your rent or your mortgage, that helps pay for your groceries and your personal expenses. You may only pay a few $100s per month towards your loan in the first few months. You may then do interest-only payments for as much as a year to 18 months, and then you would ramp up to full principal and interest payments as well. So they understand that you're not going to be profitable day one, and they also understand what it takes to position yourself so that you are profitable for years to come. I think the biggest piece of advice is, do your due diligence, utilize your resources, utilize resources such as newgradoptometry.com, utilize your private practice clubs if you're still in school, get in touch with other optometrists, network as much as possible, and ensure that private practice and ultimately cold starting is something that you're interested in. There's a lot of things you have to focus on. Just knowing how to see patients well is not going to lead to success. It will certainly contribute to success, but you need to understand all of the other nuances of the business as well. And you want to make sure that you start lean enough that you grow with your practice, not ahead of it.
Well, when they open up a practice, ODs have to make sure that they have what they need to be street legal. So we want to be able to look at the laws in the state and determine what pieces of equipment you need to have to open your doors. The great thing about optometry is that much of our equipment hasn't changed in 100 years. And so what we specialize in is finding pieces of equipment that are refurbished that allow us to be able to select cost-effective options for our clients. We do not allow you to overspend. So we do a cost-benefit analysis on every single piece of equipment we put in. We do not allow you to open up with an OCT because the cost-benefit analysis isn't there. Chairs, stand, phoropter, slit lamp, absolute musts. And then we allow you to put in a specialty piece of equipment that's going to fit your mission statement. But we have to do a cost-benefit analysis to justify why that piece of equipment is in the practice. Are you planning on doing high-end contact lenses? Are you planning on doing pediatrics? Do we need to have VT equipment available? We then insert that into the budget depending on what you want to accomplish with your mission. What we will not allow you to do is overspend on very large, expensive diagnostic pieces of equipment that will not give you a return on your investment. We'll show you those projections and why we can't open up with an OCT. You can expend things on certain specialty items that are going to generate profit, but on some things we just can't justify, so we will not allow you to overspend. This is some of the most enjoyable tasks we have is helping our clients select their frame line. What do we do is we like to have boots on the ground to go look at their location, kind of see who's in the area and what people are wearing in the area and what handbags women carry or what kind of cars people drive and what is the style and flair for a certain area. And then we select a variety of frames that kind of fit that demographic. But we take a lot of that information by visiting the practitioner and also getting to know what their individual style is and what their mission statement and vision is for their practice. So Dr. Baas and I have a very strict rule when it comes to third-party insurance when you're a practice that has absolutely 0 patients in your chair. You need to reach as many people as possible, and you need to take as many plans as you possibly can as it aligns with your mission statement. So we do have them sign up for every possible third-party medical and vision insurance plan in the beginning stages of the practice. It allows us to market to those individuals, but also market to their friends and family when they come in the door. Obamacare has brought us plans that change sometimes in a year. So they might have insurance that might not be as profitable one year, but by next year they might have the most profitable insurance plan for your practice. So we like to kind of keep that situation fluid. We can always drop plans as we move on, but your chair time is netting you $0 in the beginning. So let's put a body in the chair that's going to net us some money and cash flow right in the beginning. So I think when you're considering open cold, you have to realize the amount of work that it takes. We're going to hold your hand through the process. We're going to provide you with information that would be very difficult to obtain on your own. But you have to be committed 100%. You have to know that the secret is that there is no secret. You have to work hard. You have to make sure that this is truly what you want to do. Know that you're going to be the practice manager. You're going to be the office manager. You're going to be the janitor, and you're going to manage every aspect in the business of your practice. You have to know what you're getting yourself into. This is a full-time, sometimes 80 hours a week. You're taking this home with you, and you have to remember that.